20 days paid leave, that's what a new law proposes for state troopers involved in traumatic incidents, and it's headed to the governor's office. News 10 NBC's Aaron Mahin spoke with lawmakers and troopers to learn how this could change current operations.
Currently, state troopers get 3 days of paid leave after a critical incident where they either cause a death or serious physical harm to someone. I'm over here at Pulaski Park where earlier today Senator Cooney and New York State Police gave a press conference right down this path, calling on Governor Hochul to pass a bill that would create a 20-day leave policy. Senator Cooney said today the state is seeing a record high burnout rate in law enforcement. One trooper said some of that burnout comes from a culture that prioritizes getting back to work as soon as possible, even when officers are still processing an event.
Currently, there is the opportunity to have 3 days of leave, and that is all. Other than that, they will be on using their own leave, or they have to take leave without pay. And that is one of the large things, as Marty said. The stigma that exists, it truly is real. They feel the need that they have to come back to work without ever really taking time to process the incident themselves.
Senator Cooney and troopers spoke at Pulaski Park in memory of a 2021 incident where a trooper shot and killed a suspect who threatened troopers and a neighbor with a knife.
Roll over!
There's been 2 other incidents like this recently. In 2023, a trooper shot a man in Gates who took off during a traffic stop. And a few months later, a trooper shot a 17-year-old who lunged at him with a knife in Ontario County.
Currently in New York, there exists no uniform policy to assist troopers recovering from these critical incidents. And that's exactly what we're here today to fix.
Is there any reason you believe the governor might not sign this, or has there been any opposition that you faced in this process?
So we've obviously had conversations with the governor's office, and their policy generally is when the bill comes before their office, they'll do a full review. But what I think is really important about this is that it is bipartisan. And so that gives them the ability to evaluate the legislation, knowing that it's not going to hurt one side or another.
Senator Cooney says this bill received near unanimous support in the state legislature. Now it's headed to the governor's office for approval. I reached out to several law enforcement agencies in the area and learned that their paid leave policy really does depend on the agency. For example, Rochester Police told me that it's taken up to a year for some of their officers to get back to the line of work after one of these incidents. Ontario County told me they just updated their policy earlier this year, and that says the sheriff can allow any employee on paid leave for up to 30 days. Reporting from Pulaski Park, Aaron Mahin, News 10 NBC.